Hey, welcome back to Vision to Success with our business mentor, Jason LeDuc. I'm trying.
That's okay. Just Jason. Don't worry about it.
Jason of Evil Genius Leadership. So go and follow him. He does a lot of mentoring on his page. And his website, correct? What's your website?
At evilgeniusleadership.com. But we're not here to talk about me today.
But I want to talk about you sometime.
We're here to talk with our guest and hear her story. And we have Kristin Kirui-Case from mattNik Bookkeeping. And how long have you been here in Vegas, Kristin?
About a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I got to know you just as you were first moving here. And I didn't
Yes.
realize that. I thought you'd been living here a while. So,
No.
so tell us about how you came to form your business. And what were some of the challenges you had when you first got started?
Yeah, so I got my bachelor's actually with a minor in accounting, mainly in legal. I was planning on going to law school, and then got my master's, decided not to go to law school, got my master's, and started looking more into accounting. And then I was helping my family and friends with their businesses and organizing their businesses. And it wasn't necessarily a business. It was more just helping them out. And then it turned into a business, and it became kind of a passion of mine, because it was more or less a passion that started that turned into a business.
So what did you find so exciting about accounting that it became a passion of yours?
It was always something that excited me, as far as especially helping businesses become organized. I'm kind of an organized person, like everything in order, and helping them with their finances gave me pleasure to see them succeed. And so that's when I decided that having developing a bookkeeping and a tax business would help them, because then they would be able to become more organized, get more successful. And I also wanted to educate. I want to educate the business owners, because a lot of business owners, when they first start out, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And I found myself going and helping them and finding the people that they needed to be in contact with in order to help their business succeed.
Yeah, I'm a big believer that your financial statements, which is something that your accountant should be helping you out with if you don't know how to read a financial statement or don't know how to do your bookkeeping and create a financial statement, your accountant like Kristin should be helping you out with that. And I believe your financial statements are really the scorecard of how well you're doing with your business, and they're what you use to make decisions about where you take your business in the future. So what are some of the things that you help business owners with when it comes to their financial statements?
With their financial statements, I help them. I can help them get their loans, because obviously banks, they won't even see you without having their financial statements.
Sure.
So
No.
helping them get their finances, their financials, will help them get loans. It also would help them understand what's working and not working in their business.
Yeah.
Because what I do is I have a service where I go into a deep dive into their business, and I want to know, how are you doing business? How do you want to see your finances? What incomes are coming in? What streams of incomes are coming in? Because you later on in life, in your business life, you're going to want to know what's making your money, what's not making you money, what's costing you money, and if you have expenses related to those income streams, and you realize you have an income stream that's bringing in $500, but yet you're spending $700 to make that $500, that'll give you some leeway to make some decisions on whether to keep that stream or not, or make changes.
Yeah, balancing your sheet is really important. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I was going to ask you, what is some, without naming any names, what are some of the challenges you see with business owners when you look at their financials? And I've seen the same thing working with clients. When we look at their financials, they're spending $10 to make $5, right? And that's a really common problem. Is we see, when we start a business, we all have a vision for the business, and we sometimes get fixated on the vision when we don't have someone from the outside to say, hey, your vision's good, but it's costing you more than the money you're bringing in. And we need that kind of help and perspective to help us recage and, again, make those decisions. So what are some of the challenges, because we all have them as business owners, what are some of the challenges you faced early on in your business, whether those were accounting related or otherwise, that you caught you unaware, and how did you learn from those?
Before you answer that, I just want to actually acknowledge the viewer. He is asking, we will, how can we get in touch with your guest? So you will get that at the end of the show. We will give that away. So stay tuned, okay?
One of the challenges I think was just networking, getting out, getting your, I'm kind of an introvert. I know some people, they say you don't seem like it, but I truly am. I've learned to become a little bit more extroverted, and with my business, you have to become a little bit more extroverted. But getting out there, not being afraid to say what your business is and talk about your business and speak about your business and tell the story of your business. That was really probably one of the most challenging things that I had to get over with. And I did. I now
and you get over it.
Yeah,
Yes,
after a while you practice. Yeah.
it's part of the obstacles in business is to get through it. So there's no way to go around it. You have to go through it, and you learn from there, right?
Yes, you definitely learn.
Well, you are an accountant,
Yes.
and a lot of businesses these days, a lot of business owner actually started from business school when they when they actually went to business school, and then they learn about accounting and everything. Those are very important aspect when you are going to school, and then you become a business owner if you're in the business. So when you move over here to Vegas, so it's like you're starting over again, right? So how did you build your clientele?
So it's kind of like starting over. It's starting over from, say, your connections and your network side. For me, I still have my clients who are all over the United States.
That's amazing.
So I did still have the background, have that, but what I did have to start over was my connections. So I had to make new connections, and it really just was me getting out, me getting out there. It was like a full-time job, networking and talking to people and finding out their business.
And knowing you and telling them that I'm here, hey.
Right, yeah. So it was that part, and it was really just me getting out. And me being new here, I didn't want to. I really, but I knew that if I wanted to have a successful business, I was going to have to know the people I was going to do business with.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating that you kept a large portion of your business because you have clients all over the country, and so you really did have to create new connections here. But you already had a significant portion of your business elsewhere, very broadly elsewhere. How did you create the marketing? What's your marketing strategy, or what do you do for marketing to attract clients that you aren't meeting in person? And I think that's something that many people who are dealing with the COVID environment would love to know right now.
Really, I guess, probably, I think the way that I was able to do it was just, luckily before COVID, I made a lot of connections beforehand. Like I said, it was a full-time job. It was something that I had to do because I was somewhere new. So it was like almost an 8-hour job for me to get out and make those connections, make those relationships. So they kind of helped throughout, but it was also just kind of keeping those relationships, still reaching out. I reached out to those that I met prior to COVID. I reached out to those that were on my list that I been meaning to catch up with and kept forgetting to. And so those were the people that during COVID would say, hey, you're looking for someone? Let me introduce you to Kristin, So it was really just keeping those connections. It was easy during COVID to not continue those connections, but I was able to, go ahead and just call them and talk to them, just have conversations.
So speaking about COVID, everything has closed down. How's your business went through with that COVID, times?
Yeah, so actually it actually increased. I think I've doubled, tripled my business in the midst of COVID, and I think a lot of that had to do with so many people were left with the option to open a business. So we had a lot of new businesses, which is good, but now the government is knowing that, and it is now upping their, ramping up their
passion, their urge to
Right.
like, I'm gonna start this business. Now is the time.
Now
right?
is the time.
Yeah,
because
this
there's
is
no
like
other time.
like a reset button. Like we did have a year of reset button. So,
Yeah. So people were starting to say, hey, maybe I can put that passion to work.
Yeah.
You know, I was doing it on the side, but maybe now it's time to make it a. So that is really what kind of kept me going, was that so many businesses sprung up, or so many business owners started to they had to kind of rethink and re-innovate what they were doing, and then they wanted to do it better, and they needed to do it better because they needed to make money.
So let's shift gears a little bit, because I think it's great that a lot of people started businesses last year. The government encouraged people to start businesses. A lot of us have encouraged people to start businesses, even if they're just side hustles. But the government's going to come asking for their tax money this year if you started a business last year. So what are some of the things that people who started a business last year and really just kind of dove into it, what are some of the things they should be thinking about now? Because today is March 9th, right? And it's not last year. Taxes are due not in October this year.
No.
They're due on April 15th this year. I mean, right?
April 15th is still
Right.
the date.
April
so
15th
far.
is still the date. So what are some of the things that these new business owners or business owners that have done a major pivot over the last year should be thinking about? I'll leave it there. I have some more questions, but let's leave it there for now.
I think one of the things is definitely get organized. A lot of new businesses, they start out, they kind of intermingle personal and business. So we need to separate that first of all. Let's get those things separated, and then start to understand, what are your expenses? What are you spending money on? There's a lot of tax deductions for every business, so they want to make sure that they're keeping track of all of those things so that they can get the most tax advantages that they can with all the expenses that they're. So I would definitely say organizing and definitely keeping in touch, communicating with your accountant is probably the two main things at this point, especially if you just started last year, because you're going to probably have more of a loss than you did in income in most cases. So you want to make sure that you're keeping in touch with your accountant, you're organizing, and then you're not commingling your personal, and then that will help you into this year when you're actually making that income.
So because we had COVID, we had this COVID-19. Did we, for business owners out there, do they have any extra tax advantages that the government is giving this year, or not? Or it's the same thing?
Yeah, there were some. There's some tax advantages for those that had employees. If they had employees, they were given tax credits for maintaining or keeping their employees. So there's certain little things like that did help those, especially with those with employees, because it was really the retention of employees that the government was trying to push for, so that there were less that were unemployed.
So what are some of those deductions? You said there's certain deductions business owners should be thinking about taking. What are some of the, besides the COVID-related things, what are some of these deductions that business owners should be thinking about taking for their 2020 taxes and talking to their accountants about?
Yeah, any bank fees that you might have had, any traveling that you might have done for your business. There are insurances, any permits or licenses that you need to actually run your business. There would be, what else is there? There's just anything that can help you run your business is probably something that you should definitely keep track of.
Most things are fair game, and what you're talking about are things that a lot of business owners forget that they're able to deduct as expenses. What are some things that are not fair game for business owners to deduct?
It would be
That's a good question.
Yeah, like I guess a vacation.
Yeah, you have to be a little careful when you're doing that business travel to conference, when you're bringing your family or your spouse, or spending a couple extra days. I don't know all the rules on this, but I know Kristin, and that's how I get my education on these things. So check with your accountant. It doesn't mean you can't take your family on your trip with you. It just may mean that not everything that you spend on that trip may be tax deductible. So travel, definitely.
Travel, even your car. I know people think that you can always take, like everything on your car. There are some rules. There are methods. There are two different methods to use for that. And The one method makes it that you have to spend 50%, 75% of your business has to be run through that car. So if you're running here and there just on errands for your business, your whole car can't be deductible. Those are areas where they are red flags for the IRS. Meals, your car. Those are some red flags that you want to make sure that your mileage, that you want to make sure that you're keeping track of and crossing your T's and dotting your I's, because those are flags. Home office is another one that people tend, they want to take off their dining room table, their dining room. Those are flags, so you want to be careful of those.
All things that you can do and deduct from your business, but someone like Kristin, your accountant, is someone who can really fill you in on those rules and make sure, A, you're not getting into trouble, but B, you're taking the maximum that you can deduct from it and doing it right. And sometimes it's just as simple as setting up that home office in the right way, and just it's sometimes as simple as picking the right room to do it.
Definitely.
And that can make a difference on whether the government wants you to pay those taxes or not. So 2020, we've closed the book on that. People are getting ready to do their taxes now. At least I hope they are, because it's coming up quick. What are some of the things that they can do, since the book is closed on 2020? I know we've all learned some things about, I probably could have, if I had set that up right last year, I could have taken that deduction. What are some things that our viewers can do now to set themselves up, because it's still early in 2021? What are some things they should be thinking about for their tax strategy? And if you have a business, you should have a tax strategy in addition to your marketing strategy and your business strategy overall. What can they do to set up their tax strategy? What are some things they should think about? Because we're in March now. They've got 9 months of the year to make some changes.
Yeah, I would say definitely the first thing is to hire a bookkeeper. Many business owners feel they can wear that hat, and you can for probably a certain amount of time. You might not be able to fully know exactly like all the things you need to do for bookkeeping, but what business owners don't realize is that's probably taking quite a bit of your time.
Instead
and you
of
might
making money.
Right, and you may not even been doing it right. So you're going to wait to the end of the year when it's well past someone being able to tell you that you could have made some changes back in March, and you're waiting till December because now you know that you can't, that you haven't been doing it correctly. So we're past the point of helping you at that point because it's already done. So hiring a bookkeeper that will help you organize and help you understand your finances. I think it's so important that business owners are educated on their financials for their business. Know how much you're bringing in. Most don't want to know because they are afraid.
It's probably negative.
Yeah, they're afraid. And then some are surprised that they really didn't know that they were actually making a profit. Yeah. So I would definitely say bookkeeping is probably the first thing that they should do. And the second one is to definitely be in touch with your accountant, communicate with them, find someone, if not your accountant, someone that can help you with some tax strategy. Just an initial meeting just to find out where you should be going and where you're going to be able to take the most tax advantages.
Nice. I have a viewer's question, and I'm sorry, but I am blind. I don't know if you can see it.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Can I ask a question? Can she help with maybe partners too?
Oh yeah, LLC or something.
A partnership maybe?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what you mean? Stahl, I think his name.
Yeah, I didn't catch the name.
Stahl.
Yes, and there are some additional things with partnerships that you might want to be aware of because you're gonna want to keep your contributions and your distributions separated for each partner. And then partnerships also, you have to file your taxes if you started last year. March 15th is when you do your 1065, which is a partnership kind of filing.
The important takeaway from this is Kristin can help you not just deal with all those forms. When you talk to Kristin, she can help you with that initial conversation. If you're starting a business, what is the right business structure for your business from a financial and tax standpoint? That's not the whole story.
Right.
Sometimes you might, sometimes depending on your business, you might want the protection an LLC has, even though financially you might be okay just having a partnership or a sole proprietorship. But Kristin is someone who can help you have that conversation with you and help you make that choice. So one more question for you before we take a break and bring on our next guest. Well, I have one more. Maybe Maria has more. You know I'm a big know your numbers guy.
Yeah.
Right? If you are in business and you want to grow your business and be profitable and sustainable, you need to know your numbers. I have my opinion on what those numbers are. What are the top 2 or 3 numbers a business owner should know about their business off the top of their head any day, every day?
I would say they should know their monthly expenses, their monthly income, and it's not so much their numbers for this third one, but definitely know what's on your balance sheet. Because that is really the health of your business. It lets you know what you have in the bank, what you don't have in the bank, the liabilities, and how that weighs against what you're bringing in and what's going out.
Well, I think we have our topic for when we bring you back next time, because a balance sheet is something, if you're not used to reading a balance sheet, it's probably in some ways the most important of the financial statements, but also in some ways the hardest to read and understand. So
Yep, it's not just about plus and minus.
yeah, so we're going to get you back to talk about balance sheets. Do you have any more questions for Kristin?
You asked all the questions.
Well, that's why you brought me here, right?
I know, right?
Right? It's more about the questions than the answers for me.
This is the man.
So, all right. Well, we will be right back. We're going to bring on our second guest, and Kristin's going to stay with us, and we're going to do a little live business coaching right on the air. So stick around. Getting your business started, or if you're struggling with your business, trying to get those customers, trying to communicate what you do, you've always got to come back to the first one is your overall business strategy. And like we said, that starts with defining why you started your business, who you're doing it for, and how you help them. We help people with the nuts and bolts pieces of their business, turn your dream, your spark of an idea into reality. All right, welcome back. We're at Vision to Success. We did have one question from the last segment with Kristin that we didn't really address for the viewer, and I want to make sure we did that. So Kristin, the question was about, can you help people with patents and intellectual property?
Yeah, no, that is not my area, but if you need someone to talk to in regards to that, I have several numbers of lawyers that I can direct you to. That is more of a legal and not accounting.
And that's great advice, because intellectual property, even really simple cases, can get really complicated quickly in the law. So we forgot to ask you at the end of last segment, we're new at this, so how can our viewers get a hold of you if they have a question for either you or someone you can connect them with?
Sure. You can look me up on Facebook or Instagram at mattNik Bookkeeping and Tax Solutions. My number is 702-755-9453. You can always email me as well at Kristin at mattnik bookkeeping.com.
There you go. I hope you get that, and I hope you wrote that down. If not, just go back to the show. But anyways, yes. So we have actually as our second guest today. This is Mabel.
Hi.
With a lot of earrings here.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, Mabel.
Thank you for having us. Sorry, Lisa cannot make it. Hi, Lisa.
Yeah, shout out to Lisa. It's her business partner, by the way.
Yes.
So, Mabel, we see all the earrings here. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Okay, I'm Mabel. I'm the co-owner of Something Fun Accessories, and my partner name is Lisa, and I'm sure she's watching right now while she's driving. I'm sorry.
Oh,
she
don't
couldn't
watch and
make
drive.
it. Right. So Something Fun Accessories, this was launched last year when we were under pandemic situation, September.
Mm-hmm.
So we were kind of nervous, but at the same time, hey, the only way we can do it is try it. So
Excellent.
Lisa is already in the business, growing up with a family. She's from China. And so she knows how's the business. And we met at the gym, and we have a lot of things in common.
Everybody meet at the gym.
I know.
Yeah, when they opened sometime last year. So I paint and I draw, and she used to own gallery in China. So there's something in common, and we love fashion as well and accessories. That's why we created Something Fun Accessories. The month of August, sometime last year, we talk about it. Let's do it, and we launch it at the month of September, and here we are.
Yay.
We are trying to be out there since Vegas is opening up. So, Yep, we're gonna be out there soon.
Yay.
Well, let's get you out there today. So
Yes.
So
let's
what
do it.
What are your goals for your business, and how are you doing on those goals so far?
So far, actually, is good. We have all kinds of ideas, and now our new ideas is, since we have our own factory, that we can have whatever accessories you want, like your dream jewelry, we can make it come true for you. Just draw it, send it to us, contact us, and we can talk about it and make it come true for you guys. So that's our new thing right now as far as with our business, and we are starting to join events as well. The Sans Expo and all other events out there. So we're exploring now since, like I said, Vegas is starting to open up. Yes.
So you said, you mentioned that you have you guys factory. Is it your
Yes.
own factory or
Yes.
it is,
And we have other factories too that supply us. So that's a good thing about our business. We could have our own design, and we could put whatever in fashion, in trends, whatever is new out there.
So you have products that you sell
Right.
that are pre-designed.
Yes.
They're designs that you have, and you sell those, and then you also are exploring this area of a custom
Yes.
design as well.
Yes.
So how are you selling right now? Are you working off a website? Are you what's your marketing? What's your sales work like?
We have Facebook and Instagram, Something
Okay.
Fun Accessories. We have our own website as well, somethingfun20.com. So with those social media and our website, that's how we our business keep going. And it will be better, like I said, once we expose more ourselves out there. We're brand new, so this is a big challenge for, I'm sure, small new businesses out there right now. And during pandemic, I think so far we're doing well. We're not so affected compared to other business. But like I said, our accessories, we need people to look at it, touch it, have that connection to anything you buy. It's different when you touch it and look at it.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe you are the marketing
Yes.
guru of this business.
I am
right?
the marketing and the decision as far as design and trends out there, and Lisa is the number genius of our numbers. Like, the math of this
See,
whole
Lisa,
business.
you should be here.
I know.
But anyway, so we invited Kristin here so that she can help you with anything financial wise or tax. So do you have any questions about tax wise, since you're starting a new business? What are your struggle since you started in August and everything?
It's brand new. There's not a whole lot to talk about as far as the numbers. Probably we can talk about more of that, in a year or so, once we deal with more exposure and more numbers that incoming and out and all the other expenses. Our expenses is not as big like other business. This is just an accessories, and the good thing about it, having our own factory, it's not as complicated compared to other businesses out there. Yes.
Did you have expenses in 2020? Like when you started at
course,
September?
Of course,
You know that you can carry those expenses over as a loss so that you can actually put them on towards 2021?
I'm sure Lisa knows all
Good,
of this,
good.
and she's in the business for growing up, and as far as with all the numbers, any decision that we make together as a partner, we both sit down and whatever decision we make, it's always 50-50. Yes.
Good, good.
So far as I know, everything is okay as far as the numbers. Yes.
So yeah, and you brought up a good point, Kristin. That was the question I was going to ask you is, I'm sure as business owners, they think, oh yeah, we're not ready for that yet. We're not ready for that conversation. But I bet your wheels are turning. If this were an initial consultation with them, you probably have a bunch of questions you'd be asking them right off the bat. So without, exposing too much about the business or the secrets, what are some of the questions that you have for her, and how can they do well for 2020 when it comes to their taxes? And like I asked earlier in the first segment, what are some of the questions you have to help them develop a tax strategy for 2021?
Yeah, so I would say any new business, and it's so common for so many businesses started at the October, September, October time frame, and they think that, well, all I have is expenses, and you have startup costs. Startup costs are tax deductions. So you want to make sure you're keeping track of all those startup costs. You want to make sure, even if you're not bringing in, most of them didn't even have an income coming in, they just had expenses. So you want to make sure you're keeping track of those, because those can be very helpful for the next year when you're actually making an income, because that could help reduce your taxable income. So we want to make sure that we're keeping track of those, because obviously it's going to cost if you need to amend a tax return. So you don't want to have to go back and say, you want to try to include those expenses. So just make sure that you're keeping track of those, so that if necessary, you can put them on, you can carry over the expenses so that you can lower your taxable income for the following year.
And not just from a tax perspective, but that's really important to keep track of all that information, because as you do start to bring in revenue and you do start to make gross profit and net profit, you're going to want to create some goals for yourself in terms of gross profit, net profit, what your percentage of individual expenses are going to be as a percentage of your revenue. As you start thinking about growing this business, you're going to want to start cutting some of those percentages or increasing some of those percentages based on what they are, and a really good accounting of what you've already spent and what you're spending monthly can help you really, it's a good source of intelligence and information to help you set your goals for the next year or the next month or even the next week when it comes down to your sales goals in order to grow that business as fast as you'd like. So what other questions would you ask in an initial consultation here?
I would probably, ask when they started, obviously, if they had any expenses, if there was any income that came in. I would also want to say that during this time, especially during the startup, this is a good time before you're bombarded with your income and your expenses in a very busy business. Is that you put some of your put some systems in place. So let's put an accounting system in place. Do you have an accounting system? So if it's not, some may do Wave, Xero, or QuickBooks. Have something that's helping you keep a little bit more track of what's going on.
So not a shoebox full of papers.
Not a shoebox, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Excel, maybe.
I need to go make some changes at my office.
Yeah, I actually right now have a book bag full of receipts from a client that I just came from. So the shoebox does still exist.
How does it work for you? Because I've been an accountant for over 5 years now.
Yeah.
Or 6 years. Yeah, and I used to work with someone who always bring me those. Like, I remember I have to redo somebody's taxes.
Oh yeah.
And this is a big company. This is not a small one like mine. It is a huge company. They own a big jewelry store, fine jewelry store, and she came to me with a big box of receipts and everything, expenses, and so I bought this. I forgot the name. This, you can put all those receipts on that machine, and it goes straight to your computer like constantly, and it helps me a lot.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good system.
Yeah.
So so how does it feel with you when they bring those receipts? And they normally bring it to you at the tax season time.
Yeah. It's not the best time. Yeah. Yeah, well, hopefully, I usually try and put in some other things in place, looking at their bank statements, looking at, trying to help kind of link and organize some of those. But it's always good to even have this, to even scan your receipts, because receipts fade. And so if you're ever audited, you want to make sure that you have your receipts on some drive, some computer, somewhere, where organized by, at the most, by the year. If you want to get, really organized, you could do it by month and then by category. But at least keep them somewhere, because if you're ever audited, you want to be able to get to them as quickly as possible.
So Jason, don't ever bring Kristin your box of receipts.
As far as she knows, I don't have a box of receipts. As far as she knows,
then we have those that
all of
don't
my
even
stuff
have a
is
box.
well organized.
Yes.
That brings up a really important point, because I think a lot of people think about, in small business, think about their accountant as someone who's telling them about the past. That's my impression.
Right.
In big corporations, the accountants are thinking about the future.
Yes.
And scanning your receipts and categorizing your expenses correctly, whether you're doing them yourself or your accountant is doing them. Yes, that's about what you've done in the past, but it's being nice to yourself so that you can start thinking about the future.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things they can be thinking about for the future of their business?
For the future of your business, I would definitely think about like, what are some tax advantages you may be able to have with your factories. If employees, if that means employees. Obviously, there are a lot of, when having a factory or something like that, there are a lot of tax credits that small business owners don't even know about. So you want to kind of research, and the big guys, they know about those. They have a whole team that's out there looking for all the tax credits. So the small business owners, they don't have that, and they probably don't even know about most of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So R&D tax credits, look at that, because that is for innovative factories, medical, construction, those type of things that you can that may be able to help you during the tax season. Those tax credits.
So let's just cut to the chase on that real simply. Just for improving your processes in your own factory or your own business, if you do it in an innovative way that meets the IRS's
Yes.
criteria, you can not only save money by improving your own processes and innovating within your company, you can also get a tax credit on top of it. Am I getting that right?
Yes.
Okay. So there's always reasons to improve what you're doing. Here's two really good financial ones.
Right. Yeah. The tax credits are big because they're there. No one's gonna tell you about them, and if you can find them, then you have hit a gold mine because their tax credits are usually dollar to dollar. So any credit, unlike deductions, which are a percentage, so definitely I would say tax credit, especially having a factory. So like if you're putting together processes and things for your factory and your employees, it's a great opportunity to think about some tax credits.
Since you are talking about tax credits, a lot of people doesn't understand about the non-refundable and the refundable tax credit. Can you give us a really quick, brief description of what is the difference between those?
Well, it's like going brief is.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
There's no brief description about
Right,
it
right,
actually, but as brief as you could.
Yeah. Refundable tax credit obviously is a dollar to dollar, so you'll get that actual money you'll get that back. So if you had an R&D tax credit and it was $30,000, you're gonna get $30,000, or it'll lower your taxable income. I mean, obviously non-refundable. You're saying non-refundable?
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously that is more of a tax. It's not actually like money coming back. It's more of a reducing, a reduction rather than actual money going back to you.
Yes. So if R&D is it's a refundable, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely
Yeah,
is.
it's a refundable tax credit. Take it as much as you could because that is money for you, your business.
Yeah, and especially for the R&D, I have a connection. If you think that you could potentially qualify for an R&D, I have someone that owns a business that actually goes out for small business owners and tries to get that money back for you.
Excellent. Good to know. So Mabel, you guys have this factory, you have your company, you're making jewelry, you're getting ready to get in custom. Do you have employees right now? What's your employee situation?
Just me and Lisa so far.
Oh.
So once the business grow, you never know.
So you mean a factory? So
In China.
So that's not really your factory. It's somebody who's
Well, it's not exactly ours, but like the connections that we have that Lisa would. Well, like I said, Lisa has been in the business and she knows majority and most of those people in China. All the connections.
Oh, okay.
that
So
you're
it's not
looking
really a part of your business.
No,
it's outsourcing.
No. Yes,
but,
yes.
But that's okay because
Yeah.
you want to give the pros, let them do what they're good at, which is
Yeah,
making
I know,
the jewelry,
right?
right? And
Right.
you guys focus on running the business.
We have all these good factories that Lisa had been,
Working
relationship with them for a long time.
Oh.
And I'm new to this thing, and of course, I have to trust my business partner with all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, being brand new on the business, and we have the expert on taxes here. Do you have any questions for her? Anything?
So far, no. But of course, once the business grows, there will be accountant involved with this numbers.
Yeah.
And so far, we're good. So you never know at the end of this year.
Well, I think there's a little bit of thread to pull because you're handling most of the marketing for the business.
Yes.
And Lisa is doing kind of most of the CEO work.
Right.
And is she handling the operations of the business as well? Or are you guys sharing that?
We are 50-50 with this business.
So some areas you might think about bringing on some people to help you are someone to manage operations so you guys can stay focused on strategy. You can stay focused on marketing. She can stay focused on overall business strategy. But sales and customer service are also some areas that you might think about bringing some folks on when the time is right.
Absolutely.
And the great thing is Kristin, before you even hire those people, Kristin can tell you what you should be thinking about in terms of your finances and your taxes. So what are some of the things they should think about before they even start trying to hire somebody to help out?
Well, definitely they would need to know if they can afford to hire someone.
Okay.
And doing that would be using your finances to be able to
If we had a whiteboard, we could do it right here, right now, to figure out, hey, when's the right time to hire someone?
Yeah, and then you want to make sure and kind of think about, are they going to be working from home? Are they going to be working at a headquarters? Are they going to be working out of state? Because obviously that can differentiate.
She's hard.
To, because there's different state taxes that you're going to have to if you have them working in different. Obviously, you're going to need workers' comp, and there's a lot of things that come along, even though that when you hire employees, it's kind of your stepping stone, right? From you're working by yourself in your small little back room or garage to now having employees. So it's kind of, so there's great things about it, but there's also responsibility that goes along with it.
One of the things you want to consider is what's your opportunity for revenue by hiring that employee. You talked about it before.
Right.
Someone who's spending $700 to make $500, that's not the situation you want to be in. But sometimes being smart about when you hire someone, even if it's before you're bringing that revenue in, the opportunity for revenue may be so great that it's worth it to bring that in and swallow that expense for a little while.
Yeah, and I think for small business owners, that's one of the things that they struggle with, is that they look at their numbers, or maybe they don't even know their numbers, and they're like, I can't hire somebody, but yet you can't do it all either. So you may be trying to do everything, and it's actually preventing you from making more money because you should bring some people in, whether it's outsourcing or employees, to kind of help you. So then you can free up your mental space as well as your physical space to be able to sell to more people.
I think you're talking about me. So I just hired somebody. I just hired somebody today. Thank you, Jason, for pushing me doing that.
Well, and it's about the opportunity for the revenue you can make, and I've dealt with several instances of that with my clients, and I know you have as well. Is they are looking to bring home more take-home income, right? Yeah. It's because when you start a business, that's ultimately what you're looking for, right? Is to bring that take-home income. And there's only so many hours in the day, and if you are the one doing all of the work for the business, especially in a service-related business, or you're making all of the jewelry, you can only make so much in a day. And so if you're not meeting your personal needs with that take-home income, but you're maxed out on the time you can put in, that's definitely the time to think about hiring someone, look for that opportunity for more revenue. Yes, it incurs an expense, but sometimes you can't wait if you need to grow that. If you need to grow your profit, sometimes you need to bring that person in and lower the profit short term to bring more revenue and profit later on.
Yeah. Wow, that's a really good talk.
We try
so much, and you know what? I really love Kristin.
Oh, do you?
I told you, you're hired. Yeah, I think we need people like Kristin actually. Even though we know so much on our business, I'm bachelor in accounting, by the way. And even though I am that, I have my focus on different things, and like what I mentioned earlier, you want to outsource those different departments in your business so that you can focus on what's very important. Yeah, and it's so good to have Jason, our business mentor, here, because he's trying to open my mind of other things, like, hey, look at this, like look closer to this kind of thing. So see all the business aspects, different level of business, different specialists. It's really, really important.
It's important as a business owner to be thinking strategically, and if you're doing all the day-to-day work, your brain just isn't freed up to think about that. Kristin, on the financial side of things, can help you figure that out.
Yes.
Do that math with you on the whiteboard to say, look, this is just advice. You don't have to do it, but maybe hire someone to do some of this work so you can think about growing the business. Yeah. So Mabel, we've got a few minutes left.
Okay.
What do you want to make sure our viewers know about your business, your jewelry? I'm really excited about this custom jewelry. Is that something?
I know.
I'm not going to buy it, but I'm excited from a business perspective.
But you can buy for me.
Gift,
yeah, right? You can buy it for me.
Right? So Something Fun Accessories, they can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and they could check our website as well, somethingfun20.com, or email us on somethingfun20@yahoo.com. Our earrings, accessories, they're all made of silver, so they're safe to wear as well. And it comes in with our fancy box, as you can see in our on our show right now here. So follow us and like us on Facebook or Instagram.
And can they do the custom jewelry now, or is that coming?
Absolutely. If you guys
Okay.
want to do your own collection, we are here to help you guys as well. So contact us for any one of you guys interested.
And how long does that take if they make an order with you for custom jewelry? How
Well,
long does that take you to fulfill
It depends what kind of jewelry or
Mhm.
accessories that we are actually looking for. So the simple and easy, the faster, of
Mhm.
course.
So if you're thinking about giving a lot of gifts later in the year, now's the time to look. Go make that order, make that purchase now at Something Fun,
Accessories.
Something Fun Accessories. I
Thank
wanted to
you.
make sure you got
Thank
it right.
you.
And Kristin, one more time, tell everybody where they can reach you.
Sure. You can reach me and my team on Facebook, Instagram, and mattNik Bookkeeping and Tax Solutions website, www.mattnikbookkeeping.com. And the phone number 702-755-9453.
Yes, start buying all those jewelry with something
Fun accessories.
accessories.
Fun
and
accessories.
start. It's tax season, guys. Go and contact Kristin.
Yeah, I mean it's tax season now.
It's
right?
almost.
That's why
You
we
got a
got-
month.
That's why we have to get her here before the end of tax season.
And those that are
Thank you
experts
so
are
much
really.
for-
And that is important, but I do want to emphasize where Kristin really can provide a lot of value to you is thinking about your taxes for this year that you're going to file next year and helping you pay the government what they're owed, but not anymore, and protecting that valuable cash in your business to keep your business growing.
Yeah, and we offer tax planning and strategy, which is really, if it's after the fact, it's not really going to help you for that tax year.
Amazing.
But now's the time
Now's
to
the
think
time.
about 2021.
Yep.
The best time to plant a tree was 100 years ago. The second best time is today.
Yes.
So that's just about it for us. Maria, what do you want to wrap it up with?
Yeah, well, thank you so much, viewers. Thank you so much
Thank you
for
for having me
gracing
here.
our beautiful show. And we will back. I wish this is a weekly show, honestly, but we will be back in 2 weeks again. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, that was Vision to Success. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share this if you liked it. Please tell your friends about us. You can find more great social media shows
Just.com.
at socialmediashows.com as well as on the Facebook
All major,
page.
major social media platforms. We are all over. So just type in and Google search social media shows, and it will come up all where you can find us.
Or just leave this running. The next one will be on in a little bit, I think. So.
Yes. That's it. And thank you so much, guys. We'll see you guys again in 2 weeks.